This is Todd again, and this is the third installment of the um, transition pieces tutorials. We're going to be doing the C version today. Okay, so this one is a square that looks like it's a larger square and a smaller square, and it appears there's flat facets between each side. So this is going to be an interesting one. It's hard to say, but it looks like perhaps the width of the larger square is the same dimension as a measurement from corner to corner. So we need to draw the first rectangle to derive at the hypotenuse of a bisected triangle there, so that we know what size to make the other square for C. So let's go to AutoCAD and put it to work so we don't have to do math. So we're going to draw our first square. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and do my normal. I'm going to draw a line from origin over to the right with ortho on. It's just going to be something I can use to select on. We're going to draw a rectangle. With this rectangle, we're going to make it a dimension, so type D, 8 by 8. Okay, and then we're going to draw a line from corner to corner. Alright, so we want to center this on X and Y. So we will go and take and we're gonna do a move command, and we're going to highlight the features we want to move, hit enter, and we should go from midpoint to endpoint, and now we've moved it. Okay, so I'm going to use a measure geo or measure geom. Okay, so it's 11.3137. We're going to do a rectangle, pick our first point, we're going to type D, and we're going to make it 11.3137 by 11.3137. And that should be our second rectangle. We're going to draw a line from corner to corner on that one as well. And we're going to do a move so that we can move it. I'm going to have to turn off some object snaps here. I'm going to turn off all my intersection tabs, and by doing so, hopefully I can just pick up on midpoints. So here's the midpoint of the one and to the midpoint of the other. So now they're indexed. And then we need to rotate this larger one. Rotate, or you can pick on the rotate command up here. Pick our geometry. I'm going to rotate around 0, 0, 0. And we're going to go 45 degrees. Now if we did everything right, we should have one rectangle that's pretty much inscribed on the other. Now I believe we can get rid of this extraneous extra geometry. And we have our two squares. Alright, so let's now move the one larger one. by using the move command. Select the larger square, and we're going to move it from one of its corners, and let's turn ortho back on. That should help. And we want to move it just in Z. Let's go 12 inches, just like on the last one. So we're a foot apart. Okay, so if we go back to our drawing, it looks like we have a series of triangles that make up our shape. If we just loft between these two, it's going to make like a twist, almost like a thread. So we need the guide curves in there. So we're going to draw lines between the corners. I'm going to turn ortho off because it'll still work, but so I'm going to draw lines from corner to corner. Alright, so we should have a resultant that looks like this. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and move to shaded and see if this works, but we're going to go to solids. We're going to select loft, and we'll select our first cross section, our second cross section, and you notice we get this weird kind of twist. That's what it's going to make without the guide curves. Okay, we're going to hit enter, and we're going to use guides. Enter, we're going to pick guides at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We hit enter, and we should have our shape. Now we're going to go to press pull, and we're going to press pull the top. We're going to go 2 inches. We're going to pick the shell command, pick our solid, and we want to remove the top and bottom surfaces. We're going to hit enter to accept that, and we're going to put in 0.125 as our wall thickness. And then here's our shape. So it did pretty well there. And now if I use press pull on this, it looks like it's going to just make a thin boundary. So I'm going to opt to trace the bottom of this part and draw an auxiliary square piece by piece so that I can extrude the bottom of the part. Okay, so I should have a rectangle there. So those 4 lines I just created, I'm going to create a region. And so that I can create an extrusion of 2 inches. Now, because I used the extrude command instead of press pull, I've got to connect the 2 solids and join them into one. Okay, so here we are. We've got our shaded version of the model. And now the last thing we need to do is split this. So I'm going to go back to the home position just to recenter the view. And I think we're going to split this one on a plane across the center here. Actually, we're going to split it this way. So We're going to use the slice command. And we're going to select our solid, hit enter, and we're going to accept 3 points as our method. And let's see if we can select an outside edge, 2 outside edges, and then we need to find probably the midpoint of the bottom edge. And we're going to keep both halves. And we now have this split in half. And we're going to do a rotate command. Select the half we want to move. We're going to rotate it around one of the edges at the bottom. And we're going to go 120 degrees. And you should have that fillet open so you can see how that worked. Alright, good time to save. We've now completed 3 out of the 5 parts. I'll see you on the next one.